Hi diddly ho there. It's Cameron here with Emerson Property Management. Every week I bring you tools, tactics, strategies, lessons I've learned, things have helped me build up a sizable rental portfolio in about 2 years, now manage that portfolio. Today, guys, I want to talk about the expectations you have when you buy a rental property. So if you listen to the gurus and all these $50,000 classes, you buy a rental property, you're going to make millions of dollars, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. You just buy some rentals and you're rich. You make $300 or $400 a month cash flow. Don't have to, you make $500 a month cash flow. You buy 10 properties. That's $5,000 a month. You can retire. I can tell you without a doubt that expecting to make money year one is setting yourself up for failure. And what do I mean by that? I love rental property. I do. I think it's the best way for the average person to get rich and create generational wealth in the United States. So I just want to talk through that real quick. I want to make sure that when you buy and when you're looking to buy, especially when the market gets competitive, now we've got interest rates coming up, so we got cash flow situations and cash flow issues, especially if you're going to refi your portfolio. Man, I used to have a 3% mortgage. Now I'm going to 7%. My cash flow is going to nothing. So I want to just talk through expectations and make sure that you guys know what you're getting into so you're not disappointed and then hate real estate because you got in and thought you were going to get blood out of a turnip or make, a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. Can't do it. Okay. I can go on so many different analogies. You can't plant a seed and be pissed off that it's not a giant oak tree in 1 year. It just isn't going to happen. And Bigger Pockets talks a lot about this. So this isn't any new concept. But I think now is probably more important than ever to talk through this because, again, we have more supply coming online. Again, at the beginning of 2023 here, a lot of supplies coming online, so rent prices are either going to stay flat or they're going to drop a little bit. So you are thinking about getting into real estate, or you've bought your first rental property, or maybe a couple, and you're like, man, yeah, I can't wait to make $300, $400, $500 a month off my property. When that doesn't happen after year one, or maybe you did, maybe first year you made $2,500, $3,500, $200 or $300 a month, and you think that's great. Next year, we have Hurricane Harvey happen. We have an AC go out. All that cash flow is gone. All of it, and then some. So by setting the expectation that you're not going to make any money, if you want to do it safely, and guys, I'm one person. I've got rental properties. There's millions of people who have rental properties. So take this with a grain of salt, okay? This is my philosophy, and I think something that you should do, but I'm not telling you what to do. There's people who make money in real estate all different ways. But if you make the expectation that instead of I'm going to make money in year one, let's plan for year 5. And you don't defer the maintenance. Oh, I don't want to fix that. I'll put a Band-Aid on that. I don't want to replace that right now because, man, I bought my couple rental properties and I've got $1,000 a month coming in, and I don't want to lose that. I'm going to live off that $1,000, or I'm spending that on something else, or maybe I bought a car, or God knows what. If you can shift your mindset to, okay, this $1,000 a month I'm bringing in, I'm putting it all back into the property. This is exactly what I did. So this is how I was able to build up a portfolio of over 30 properties, because I took all the money I was getting, and when the bathroom needed a little bit of work, not a little bit, but when it was falling in, and I say a slumlord here, but once the property started getting a little dilapidated, or maybe the carpet was bad, instead of replacing it with carpet, I was like, okay, let's do the LVP. It's expensive. Let's upgrade the kitchen. Let's upgrade the bathroom. Let's spend the money. So I was pushing all that money back in, and I didn't have to. I could have properties that still have the same carpet in there when I bought them in 2014 and 15. They would look like shit. They probably wouldn't rent as high, but with the way the demand was, you could have, in 2020, 2021, 2020, early 2022, you could have put anything out there and it would have rented because there was no supply. Now, supply's coming back. So you can't have pieces of shit and expect them to rent top dollar. And what do I mean by that? I mean, the days of these slumlords who are letting their properties fall in, not cleaning up carpets, not touching up paint. You've probably seen the videos of their landlords painting over cockroaches over the walls. I mean, that stuff happens. And I think those landlords are going to slowly get pushed out because people now have options. So back to what I was saying. Instead of trying to spend that money year 1, 2, 3, 4, you push it back in the property of, okay, this AC unit is 20 years old. It's right about there. I've got the money, I've got the cash. Everything else is pretty good. I've got a long-term tenant. Let's replace the AC system before the summer, and I have to do it right in the heat of battle. I can't get an HVAC tech and all that. Those are the kind of moves that you make that are gonna create better cash flow and actually make you money year 5 to year 30. Carpet's getting bad. Want to replace that with LVP? Let's do that. If you replace it with good LVP, you do not touch it for 20 years. I've got a video over here or here talking about LVP, and it's expensive. Yes, but you will not touch it again. Tenants like it. It's aesthetically pleasing. It's a hard surface. Spill water on it. Instead of replacing carpet every year, 2, 3 years. So if you could, I know I've said it like 10 times, but it's like, just shift the mindset of, instead of oh man, I can make $300 a month this year. You take that money and push it back in the property. Turnover, okay, hey, I can't afford to do the whole kitchen remodel, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the cabinets on the island, or I'm going to replace the floor. And then next year, I'll do the kitchen upgrade. And then next year, I'll do the bathroom upgrade. Slowly do that. And then at the end of 4 or 5 years, you have a portfolio of all upgraded properties, and they're bringing in money because you don't have any maintenance. You're not kicking the can down the road. You're solving it now and replacing it with something better that's more durable. I just wanted to take a second, let that sink in. You guys will thank me if you follow this advice. Again, I'm just a lone property manager. I've got a few rentals. Strategies worked well for me. It could just be luck. I don't know. But I have very low maintenance on my properties. I have owners that we're out at the property, I feel like every month to 2 months. And my properties, 2 to 3 maintenance requests a year is what we average. Sometimes it's less. Sometimes I don't hear for tenants they renew, and that's the first time we've heard from them. So if you can do that, if you can reduce maintenance, if you can reduce vacancy by offering an improved and up-to-date property that's clean, that's at a good price, then you're going to find yourself ahead of this. I don't want to act like this is a looming tidal wave of a bunch of supply coming and we're going to crash and burn, but there are going to be owners out there that have deferred the maintenance over the past 5 or 10 years, and then the property is going to come vacant because nobody takes care of anything, so they're going to another property. And when they vacate, the owner doesn't have the money because they've been spending all of it to do the turnover. And now, man, dude, we have to replace this Formica countertop. We cannot do it anymore. We have to replace these cabinets. They are falling in. If we want to get even a tenant, we can't even get a bite because the tenants have so many options now. The scales have tilted. It used to be sellers and property owners or landlords. The power is shifting back to the tenants and the buyers. And if you don't believe me, go out in the market right now. If you are trying to purchase a rental property, people would have laughed at you when you put in a sub list price offer 6 months ago. They'd have laughed at you. For the last really 2.5 years, they would have laughed at you. Now, you put in a sub 70, 80% ARV offer, you might get a call and start a conversation. And they're not going to be as pissed off as they were with, when they're getting above market, above appraised value offers. So the big thing about this, and the big reason I want to talk through this, is I have owners that come on that are expecting to live off the cash flow, or quitting their jobs because they have 3 or 4 rental properties and they think that that's going to give them the opportunity to live whatever lifestyle they want to live. And I think setting the expectation up front, just like we do with tenants about repairs and maintenance and things in our leases, and when they first move in, we have a very frank conversation with them, and it helps the rest of the tenancy. I think getting your mindset right about coming into real estate, knowing that man, I'm not going to use this money. I'm just going to continue to work for 5 years. Year 5 is when I'm starting to reap the benefits. And if history is any indication, rents are going to increase. So if you're reducing vacancy and reducing maintenance by offering a great property, when 5 years comes, your rents are going to be up. You're going to be making, I've got properties I was making $100, $150 a month on that are now making $400, $500, $600 a month. And that's net, net, net. That's not before property management. That's net, net, net to the bottom line. I don't want to scare you guys with this though. I don't want you to think I can't buy. Cameron's basically saying don't buy a rental property unless unless I can wait 5 years to make any money on it. That's what I think is the best strategy, but you don't have to. You don't have to do that. If you can get into real estate and you have to siphon a little bit off to make whatever work out, that's okay. But do it as minimally as possible. Buy as much real estate as you can. It has changed my life. It allowed me to step away from corporate America several years ago, and it's been one of the best things I've ever did. And I think, again, reiterate, I think it's the best way for the average person to get rich and create generational wealth in this country. So buy as much as you can, siphon off if you want a little bit, but the more you keep in the properties and hold off, the bigger and bigger the payday is going to be. So I hope that was helpful. I have to get that out. Supply's coming. Competition's going to get fierce. People who are neglecting their properties are going to get pushed to the wayside. Slumlords are going to be hurting. So you might find some deals. You guys might start seeing some properties, dilapidated properties come on board. Whereas 2 years ago, they were getting snatched up like this. You might find some deals here coming up in the next 6 to 18 months. I hope that was helpful, guys. If it was, let me know. If it wasn't, let me know. If you want to talk real estate anytime, comment, DM, text, whatever, phone call, email. I really appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all next week.